And a very good morning to you. Welcome to the National Aquatic Centre here in Dublin for day 5 of the Irish Open Championships for 2022. I'm John Kenny alongside Nicholas Quinn and Andrew Bree, former Olympians, to bring you coverage of this, the final day of heats and the finals later on this evening at 5 o'clock. Well, what kind of a programme have we got for you today? We start with the women's 200 metres freestyle, 4 heats in that. Then we got the men's 200 metres individual medley, 4 heats in that as well. The women's 200 metres breaststroke, that is 3 heats there. The men's 50 metres freestyle, plenty of interest in that because we got 5 heats. And then the women's 50 metres backstroke, even more heats in that. We got 6. Danielle Hill looking for title number 6 this week. Really dominant display from the Tokyo Olympian. And then we're going to wrap up the morning programme with the first heat of the 1500 metres for men. That's going to be a heat declared winner final. We will have the fastest qualifiers in the final later on this evening at 5 o'clock. We're going to start with heat 1 of the women's 200 metres freestyle. 3 swimmers going in this, in Lexi Dunn, Olivia Miskelly and Sophia Quigley of Ards. Very young 3 swimmers in this, 13, 15 and 18 years, 15 years of age. Nicholas Quinn, quick word from you.
Yeah, it should be a really exciting session this morning. That women's 200 freestyle first up. All eyes will be on Victoria Catterson, see if she can go sub 2 minutes for the first time. That's the big target there. And then, as you mentioned, that men's 50 freestyle should be an exciting one. Max McCusker in flying form, Irish senior record in the 50 fly earlier in the meet. We also have Callum Bain, silver medalist, 50 free specialist, so that should be a good one.
Yeah, there's plenty of interest. We were talking at the early part of the week about the fact that some of our bigger names in Irish swimming are not here for various different reasons, some staying in their various different training camps, 1 or 2 injury problems, but in their absence we've seen some terrific swims from the likes of Hill and McCusker, as you mentioned. But here we go with heat 1 of 4. This is the 200 metres freestyle, and Andrew Bree is going to take you through.
Welcome to the final day here at the Irish Championships. Kicking off this morning's action is the women's 200 metre freestyle. First heat we have done the Miskelly and Quigley. All swimmers here now approaching 35 metres. So final day, heats and then finals tonight. We should be finished up by 7 o'clock later on. We got some range of events. So here we go, Quigley in 5 taking it out. She turns in a 30.15. So Quigley's seated time, 2:17.07. Miskelly's in on a 2:16. And then Lexi Dunn, the 13-year-old from Dolphin, has entered on a 2:17. Coming through 75 metres, it's still Quigley for Ards. Let's put a body length up. Should be around 101, 102. So 1033 to 1044, and then Dunn out there on a 109. 75 to go now for the Ards swimmer. No sign of slowing down as we approach the final wall. Being caught up a little bit now, Olivia Miskelly. She does have a half a second faster entry time, so these both girls, I predict, are going to be under those 16 and 17s. As we turn 138.07 to 138.91. Nice opening prelim swim here for the freestylers. Getting the action in nice and early. So we've got the women's 2 free. And then straight after this, we're transitioning into the men's 200 metre individual medley. But a good race now, stroke for stroke, 15 metres to go. Let's see if Olivia Miskelly, Bam Bridge, they threw down on the 2 IM last night with Julia Knox coming through, but it's all the way home. Quigley or Miskelly. Quigley gets it just there, 2:13, folks. Seated times got smashed this morning, 2:13.0 to Miskelly's 13.34. And Lexi Dunn just over her best from a 17 to a 22. Heat 1 complete.
Yeah, nice scene in the water between our top 2 there, Miskelly and Quigley, after the race. A lot of respect. It was a nice moment. I thought Miskelly was going to get up and beat Quigley, but Quigley held on well.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great first race for this first session of the last day. A really tight finish, and both those girls improving on their seed time, so a really good race, and as you said, a nice embrace at the end, so that competition bringing out the best in both those girls there.
Now they're using all the lanes, so it's a case of time. Moving on to various different finals this evening. We do have B and A finals and senior ranks, and we've also got the juniors as well, so a good chance that Miss Kelly and Quigley will advance to the junior final a little later on this evening, which starts at 5 o'clock. We're going to move on to Heat 2 now of the women's 200 metres freestyle. Grace Cochran of Lurgan in 1, Rogan O'Hara, Leander in 2, Naomi Rogers, Trojan, 17 years of age, in 2, O'Hara's in 1, sorry. Ellie Duggan of Larne, Donegan, Naomi Trait of Kilkenny, entry time of 2:03. Bethany Firth, the Paralympic champion for both Ireland and Great Britain, goes in lane 5, the 26-year-old. Orlaith McAndrew of Temple Oak, 16-year-olds in 6. Grace Conroy, and in 8 it's Lauren Farr. Good to see Bethany Firth here, actually.
Bethany is, yeah, no, Bethany is there, so she'll have her Commonwealth Games and World Para Championships later this summer, so she'll have her eyes set on them firmly. She'll be in hard training, I imagine. At the minute she won't be rested for this, so it'll be interesting to see how these girls go in the first of the seeded heats.
4 lengths of the pool then for Heat 2, 200 metres freestyle on the final day of competition here at the NAC.
All right, prelim Heat 2 of 4 now starting. We have a stacked up field, only missing one swimmer. Or we just have a little bit of space here over in lane number 9. That's all right. So leader taking it out, Naomi Trait. She's entered in a 2:03.45. So we should definitely see a stack of sub 2:10 swims in this as they all approach the wall in a nice line. Lanes 3, 4, and 5 very close. That's Donegan, Trait, and Firth. Those are your 3. Out there, Brogan O'Hara in 1. She's on a 30 point, but stacking them on 29s where they need to be. Coming through now, it is Bethany Firth for Ards in the black cap. She's setting the pace with 15 meters to go to the halfway mark. So some of the faster seeder times coming up. Catterson's on 2 minutes. And then we have Godden on a 2:03. So they need to be around that mix, going out in 1:02s now. So we'll probably be expecting maybe 2:07s. If they can kind of bring that back a little bit tighter, out in the 29 and 33s. So Donegan's looking pretty good now in that white cap lane 3. Trait with the orange one. Nice. Always good to see different colors of caps, so makes my job easier. Temple Oak swimmer McAndrew also in the mix. She's actually turned it on a wee bit there in the last 15 meters, but here we go. 1:35.22. Coming through, 1:36.3 for Trait. Firth now in 3rd, 1:36.78. And then McAndrew holding on for 4th, but she's moved up now to 3rd. She's taken over. Firth has dropped back. Firth has just died off there in that last little bit. Not her specialty though, the backstroke is her world. But all the way through, Donegan representing the Larne swim team. 5 meters to go, about a 2:08.209. 2:08.69 for Donegan. Nice job. 2:09.2 for Trait. Rounding out your top 3, McAndrew with a very strong second 100 meters there in this 200 free. We have 2 more heats to go.
Yeah, 2:08 for Donegan. Brought it home nicely, as Andrew opined there, Nick. Not surprised to see Bethany Firth drop off. More of a 100 specialist and a 100 backstroke specialist as well, but that's a good swim from Donegan ahead of Trait.
Yeah, it was a brilliant swim from her. She split the race really well. 32s on those middle 50s, and it was really that second 100 where she took control of that race. Bethany went out hard, but Ellie stuck to her game plan and was able to accelerate on that third 50 and had enough on the fourth 50 to get the win in that first of the seeded heats. So we'll be seeing her again later this evening in the finals.
And that's the rundown of Heat 2 of 4. Donegan, Trait, McAndrew Firth in fourth. Heat 3 then, of 4 in this women's 200 freestyle. Laura Potts in 0. 14-year-old Ava Jones, keeping an eye on her. Been very impressed with some of the swims from her this week. Goes in 1. Danielle Farrell in 2. Grace Davidson, Maria Godden, Ellie McKibben, Hannah O'Shea, Rosie Whitten, and Rosalie Phelan from Cormorant out in lane number 8. Heat 3 in the women's 200 free.
Heat 3 of 4 now in the water. First up in lane number 4, Maria Godden. She's entered in a 2:03.18. So the standard's been set now, 2:09s from the previous heat. All these swimmers in a complete straight line almost. Ava Jones out there in lane number 1, taking it on. Ava Jones entered in a 2:11 for the 14-year-old, a 2:11.1. So she's in the mix. She turns second, but first to the 50 meters on a 28.95, Maria Godden. Then Jones is second on a 29 low. And then the rest of the times just disappeared. Here we go. 75 meters in now, 43 high. Godden's looking pretty good. We have a no-show in lane number 5. Who was that originally? Oh, there wasn't anyone even listed. Not even on my sheet. Okay, here we go. Halfway through. Sub 60, just about. Maybe over. Just over, 60.34, 61.9 for Davison. Davison's there in the mix. She's had a fantastic meet, continuing through 5 days. Danielle Farrell from Sligo on a 102.25. Then we have Jones right behind her, about half a second. But it's Godden now, the backstroker. Backstroke and breaststroke, whipping those hips side to side. Here we go. Davison's still in the mix. Davison's just past her feet. But watch out for Davison's last 50. Knows how to swim at such a young age, which is good to see. So nothing really between Davison and Farrell. 0.4 of a second. 0.6 of a second. So it's Godden all the way out front. Let's see how close she's going to get to her 2:03. Out in a minute. Let's say she brings it back in a 1:04, 1:05. We should be around that 2:06 world. Davison's entry time is a 2:06. Godden 2:03, O'Shea 07. What do we have, folks? 2:06? Yeah, why not? 2:06.03. She's the fastest in. Davison on a 2:08. More to go tonight. And then 2:09.0 for Farrell. Jones holds on for fourth on a 2:11, round her best. And then O'Shea coming through on a 14. That's top 5. We have one more fast heat to go.
Yeah, the swimmer that was missing from lane 5 was Ellie McKibben. Decided to scratch, but Maria Godden takes the victory in that. Just kept an eye, we mentioned at the top, on Ava Jones. She punched in a 2:11, so it's going to be one of the fastest time for the junior final later on today.
Yeah, brilliant swim from Ava. She's on fine form. She's a 13-year-old from Portmarnock. She had a brilliant swim in the 100 breaststroke, so she'll be one to watch in the junior final. A great swim as well from Maria there. We've seen her on her back, swimming 100 and 200 back, picking up silver medals earlier on in the meet. So now 200 freestyle, a really strong heat performance from Maria.
Now we're on to the final heat then of the women's 200 freestyle, and it will feature Vicky Catterson. Catterson pipped by Danielle Hill for the 100-meter title this week. Be anxious in Hill's absence to wrap up the title here. Her entry time is 2:00.15. She's going in lane number 4. Irish record stands to Michelle Smith, still in the books, from 1997, 1:59.93. Won't go this morning, but interesting to see. Might have a crack at it this evening. There's your lineup then. Kenny Carroll Hodgins, Knox, Catterson, Kane, McLaurin, Feenan, Bailey, and Bailey out in lanes 8 and 9. Women's 200 free, heat 4.
All right, let's get into this one now. Victoria Catterson there, fastest qualifier, right on that 2-minute barrier. Nice underwaters for her. She's going to be pushed all the way though. Knox on her side. Don't look out for Amelia Kane. Higher tempo, but she gets the job done. We have Molly McAlorum in lane 6, swimming out of the National Centre in Ulster, as well as Catterson. McAlorum used to be with Leander and Catterson with Ards. Changed up their environment. Aiming to get better. Here we go, 29.09. Out slightly slower than Godden in that first one. Second, Knox on a 29.5. And then we have Grace Hodgins. Met Grace last night and her mum. It's good to put a face to some of these swimmers. All I see is caps and goggles from up here. But Catterson's coming through now. 15 meters to go to the halfway mark. So realistically, she needs to be 57, 58 this morning. Bringing it home maybe in a 3 or 4. Turns on a 1 minute. So we've had no swimmers under the minute, but that'll change tonight. Catterson now leading. 1 minute point 1. Who else is in the mix? 101.7 for McAlorum. Nice opening 100 for her. 101.7 I think that was for Knox. So let's see. We got 3 Northerners now. 4 Northerners taking this one out. We have Bambridge, Ards, and Leander. Here we go. Nice race forming. But Catterson in a league of her own. She turns on a 132.43. Nothing between lane 5 and 6. This is going to be a bit of a battle. Knox is okay, I think. She's about half a body length up. 35 meters to go now. Molly's now moving. Let's see if McAlorum can bring it home. Both of them, stroke for stroke. Catterson's tying up a little bit. She's got 15 meters to go right now. Knox is tying up a little bit. Kane's tempo is still the exact same from the first meter to the last meter, but it's Catterson on a 3 or a 4. 3:2:04.23 for Catterson. Who's in next? Knox holds on a 7.2. McAlorum comes, just outside. Very, very close, folks. Look at that. Amelia Kane and McAlorum. Nothing between them. 2:07.7 to 2:08.8. That is your women's 200 freestyle. Get ready for some men and individual medley coming up in the next event.
Andrew was saying that Vicky Catterson was tying up a little bit. She was breathing a little hard at the end there, wasn't she? She hit the wall, but I thought she actually looked quite controlled.
I think that was a strong performance from Victoria. Looking at her splits there, 31.1, 32.2, and she actually came home quite strong in the last 50, 31.8, back under that 32 point for that last 50, but she'll be looking to move that on this evening. It's a strong swim as well from Julia Knox and Amelia Kane in second. We've seen those girls racing a lot of freestyle, distance freestyle on IM earlier on in the week, so a fast last heat of that women's 200 freestyle, and all of those girls will be looking to improve on those times later on this evening in the finals.
All right, so we will move on to the next event, which is the men's 200 metres individual medley. All 4 strokes involved here. The object of the exercise is to emerge from the heats and into the finals. We do have B's and A finals this evening, plus junior finals as well. So many of these swimmers will get a second swim, which is important, of course, as well, isn't it, in these contexts of these heats and finals.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, getting that second swim and analysing what you've done in the morning and then figuring out, okay, how can I tweak that and go a little bit faster at night. So all these swimmers will go back, looking at their swims, identifying areas of improvement, and then trying to execute that for the finals.
Heat 1 then, Barry McClements, Paralympian, Ben Merrigan and Dominic French, 3-4-5.
Event number 30 in the water. This is the men's 200 IM. We have 4 prelim heats this morning. Good to see the prelim numbers up at about 4 or 5, and then in the summertime there'll probably be 17 heats of the men's 200 freestyle. But that's what we want. We want people swimming and competing. Here we go. So Ben Merrigan, fastest qualifier, the 16-year-old from Dolphin. He's entered on a 2:25.2. But looking at all these seeded times, there is absolutely nothing between them. We have 2:25.9 for McClemens, 2:25.2 for Merrigan, and then Dominic French from Sligo on a 2:25.3. But it's lanes 3 and 4 taking this one out quite smoothly now as we approach the halfway mark. Backstroke through. Clemens doing a good job there from Ards. And then the Dolphin man holding on. So they're going to be turning around maybe a 5 or a 6 here if we can get those last 3 strokes in. 105.52. Clemens on a 106.1, and then French coming through on a 108.80. Popping up. Let's see if the Sligo man can regain some ground. Nice pop on the stroke, driving that head down, but it's the Dolphin swimmer Ben Merrigan. He's now taking the lead. McClemens second. French making moves though. He's clawed up a good few meters on that first 25 of the breaststroke. Let's see what he can do at this far wall, transitioning into the freestyle for the first heat. All right, Merrigan on a very steady 34 stroke rate all the way through that 50. Heat turns first, 152.15. French second on a 53.5, and then McClemens coming through on a 156.9. Let's get that kick action through, fellas. Bringing it home now. 26 meters to go for the Dolphin man. No sign of slowing down. 2:10 on the big clock. He's got 15 seconds. 15 seconds from there to see if he can break that 2:25 seated time. Gasping for air there on that last 10 meters or so, but that's okay. 5 meters to go. He might be under just about 2:24. 2:25.22. Am I looking at that right? Is that his exact entry time? Folks, that's his exact entry time. 2:25.22. That doesn't happen very, very often. Good job, IMers. 3 heats to go.
Yeah, you can't say fairer than cracking in the same entry time in the pool. 2:25.22 for Ben Merrigan. One thing about this particular discipline or event, Nicholas, is the fact that it can change right throughout the race. Depends on how good you are at one of the 4 disciplines.
Yeah, that's the really exciting thing about the medley races, is that each of these swimmers will have different strengths, and they'll come to the fore. We saw Barry was right up there on the back all. He was in the 100 back all final session last night, so that was his strong point, whereas Ben really pulled away on that breaststroke leg and was able to do enough to hold on in the freestyle. So we see that in these later heats, that these guys will have their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's what makes these races so exciting, especially at the junior level. Once you get to senior international medley swimmers, if you have a weak stroke, you get found out very quickly. So at these junior levels, you can get some exciting races in the medley.
We've got a real medal prospect in this heat too. Caden McCarthy of the National Centre in Limerick is a fastest entry time of 2:04.88, and that's a good 7 seconds ahead of the rest of them. So he should take this home. Owen Corby and Oisin Cook coming in heats after this. This is heat 2 then of the men's 200 meters individual medley.
Heat 2 men's IM in the water. Okay, so I'm predicting a little bit of time drops for some of these guys. I don't think McCarthy's going to go 2:04 straight off the bat this morning, but I do think Bailey might drop some time. And look out for lane number 6, Cody Dunyan from Ards. I think he's going to be faster than a 2:16. So let me get up here and walk with these guys as we transition to the fly backstroke turn. It is Bailey. Let's see what he's got. 26.7. That's pretty slick. McCarthy on a 27, and then Dunyan on a 28. Kilcoyne also on a 28, so he's in the mix. But here we go. It's Bailey, the youngster from New Ross. Look out for him in a couple of years. Definitely look out for him in 2028. That will be his main target for the youngster, but doing really well. Sister's also in the game, swimming good. Bailey through. Let's check out his breaststroke. What's happening down in New Ross with the breaststroke? 59.75. Bailey hits the wall first. Caden McCarthy second on a 101.6. And then Dunyan coming through on a 103.7. He had a pretty good 100 breaststroke. Let's see if he can pull back up a little bit. The tempo's there, so it's going to be Kilcoyne and Dunyan fighting for that 3rd spot. McCarthy coming through now, training with the boys. Training with the boys down in Limerick. Owen Corby especially, he's up next. But it's McCarthy now. McCarthy and Bailey. Nice battle here, lads. Let's see what we can do. Stroke for stroke. 5 meters to go to the breast free turn. And they hit pretty much the same. Let's get after it. 137.9 to 138.3. It's all about getting those center lanes, folks, tonight, so you can see the whole pool. You don't want to be stuck out in lane number 9. You're in a world of your own. So it's all the way through. Let's go. 1:55 on the big clock. They got loads of time. They're not going to be near his best of a 2:04. But I knew Bailey was going to drop. Bailey's entered on a 2:11. He's going to be under, there we go, maybe 8 or 9s. Nothing between them. 2:08.23 to Bailey's 2:08.42. The Sligo man comes in on a 14, and Dunyan drops about a second for a 2:15. Those are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more heats to go.
A surprisingly good race that. Wasn't expecting that. Brilliant from Evan Bailey.
Yeah, Evan's had a fantastic meet. We've seen him already picking up European junior qualifications in the sprint fly, in the sprint freestyle events, and you could really see him utilise that speed, easy speed on that first 50 fly. He had that bit of an edge on Caden, but Caden's an IM specialist, so we're talking about having weak strokes. He doesn't have weak strokes. He's just very, very solid and very consistent in all of his 4 strokes. And that came through in the breaststroke. He caught Evan and just had enough to hold on. But Evan really got his head down for the last 7 meters and made it a lot tighter than I maybe thought coming into the last 10 meters.
Yeah, McCarthy was in a real race there, but they'll have safely advanced to tonight's A final, you would think, on those 2 times. On to heat 3, another one of our medal contenders, Owen Corby. Another good meet for Owen Corby. He goes in 4. Coogan, Cummings, McKeown, Cox, Corby, Wilson, Irwin, Cook, Keogh and Morgan across the pool from 0 to 9. Heat 3.
Okay, we have 1 seated time under 2:10 in this race. That is Owen Corby in lane number 4. He was the last to surface because he got the most out of his dive and underwater kicks. Got to use that dive, fastest part of your race. Corby's out there, so who's above him? Paul Cox, he's entered in a 2:12. Adam Wilson should drop, he's on a 2:11. So it'll be good to see some of these other guys get under 2:10. It's a nice barrier, it should be done at this stage anyway. Corby's backstroke, nice breakout, Corby. 27.3, he's first. We have Michael Keogh second. And that's all I've seen. Okay, so it's Corby through. Keogh's closest to me here in lane number 8 with the black cap. Who also is making a move there? Lane number 6, Nettie Irwin, training out of Limerick, Corby's teammate. He's moving through, but you'll expect Corby now to make some serious gains on this 50-meter breaststroke split. He's rounding about a minute, similar to the heat before. So if we can hit a 34 point here, 34, 35, and then bring it home as close to 30 as possible, we're going to see a stack of these guys around about a 2:05, 2:06, 2:07 going into tonight's final. Look at Corby go, folks. Look at that reach. Distance per stroke for the young man cruising through. Great to see him back in form. I said last night in the commentary he did the double. He didn't do the double, he did the treble. So that's going to boost his confidence coming into the summer. He turns on a 1:34, 34 or 39 or 33 split, 33 split on that, and he's coming home strong. So he should be around a 2:04, 2:05, 25 meters to go for him. That is Adam Wilson. He's had a really strong breaststroke leg as well, pulled away from the rest of the field. But look at the distance, folks. We're talking about 12 meters up. 12 meters up. Nicely done, Corby. Nicely done. 2:04. Just over 2:05.27, fastest IMer so far this morning. Wilson's probably going to be about a 12. 13.6 for him. Who's next? Paul Cox from Lisburn. 2:17.0. And very, very close there between 4th and 5th. That's McKeown and Cook. Good job, IMers. One more heat to go.
Well, that was impressive. He's won, as Andrew alluded to, the treble of 50, 100 and 200 breaststroke, and it really is in the IM where the breaststroke, it seems to separate the men from the boys, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You talk about strengths right there. Owen was a 33.1 on the back row leg and a 33.7 on the breaststroke leg. You don't see that very often where the breaststroke is almost as fast as the back row, but he's so powerful when he swims that breaststroke, really using that catch at the front of his stroke to drive through that third 50 and set himself up really well for a nice final swim this evening. It'll be a good race.
Poor old Angus Cook was disqualified, the 17-year-old from Limerick. Must have been a dodgy turn. And we're going to move to the final heat then of the 200 metres individual medley. Short enough programme this morning. Should wrap it up with about an hour and a half. It's Donlan in 1, Byrne in 2, Mulhall, Hansen, Oisin Cook from Tuam. Can he wrestle away a title from Owen Corby? Nice to see in this heat how good he is in the morning swims. Charlie Cassidy, Ben Riddle, Liam O'Connor and Killian Murphy out in lane number 9. Final heat then of the men's 200 metres individual medley on the final day of competition here at the NAC.
This is prelim 4 of 4. We are moving into the women's 2 breast after this, so let's enjoy the IM for the morning. That's a nice breakout from Cook in 5. He's going to be pressured by Hansen. Hand will be also there. Once again, I expect these kind of outer central lanes to be dropping some time. Matthew Hahn should be maybe a 2:10. Cassidy maybe a 2:13. Cook's on a 6. Hansen's on a 3. Hansen's hitting it on a 27.2. Cook right behind him, 27.4. And then we have Matthew Hand on a 27.5. Good, good, good. Backstroke though. Look at Hansen. He is moving. The Trojan man is just destroying the rest of the field. 42 seconds at the 75. Hand has now moved up. Hand's taking over Cook. This is going to be a nice breaststroke battle. We'll see if Cook from the Tume Club, but swimming abroad at the minute over in Scotland. So touching the wall first, 58. The only man under 1 minute this morning. Here we go. I'm getting on my feet for the last bit. So it's Hansen coming through, 58.49. Who's next? Hand is up next. He should maintain a little bit of breaststroke speed here. Racing Cook in 5. Hand is holding on though. He's going for it this morning, getting a little bit more height and pop out of that stroke. 25 in, he's maintaining. This will be good for his confidence, holding off Cook. But Cook does know how to move up gears. He's already doing it right now. Look at him go, popping that stroke. No one's catching Ethan Hansen though from Trojan. Let me just check. He's entered in a 2:03. He's turning in a 1:35. So yeah, he should be about a, let's see. Oh, this could be pretty good for him. If he can bring it home, maybe round his best. Good fight there. Look at Hand still in the mix for third. Good kick. Cook's not giving up though. Cook's more of a catch-up-y type, middle distance type, Ian Thorpe type stroke. But it's holding on. He's a good fight. Both of them look breathing to their left, but Ethan Hansen on a 2:06.60. The other fella's just around 10s, 2:11 and 2:12. Not bad for a morning swim, gentlemen. More to go tonight, please. And then nothing between 4th and 5th. There we go, 2:19 for O'Connor, Turnier. And then who's over there? That's Brendan Bird from Bangor on a 2:19.6. That wraps up your 200 IM event this morning. Get ready for the women's 200-meter breaststroke.
Yeah, it's a good swim from Ethan Hansen, but I think Oisin Cook is playing a little bit of possum, I think, earlier on in that particular race. There's no way he's that far back. He'll be in the mix there this evening, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be in the mix. You can really see the styles make fights, and Ethan Hansen's back row, 31 split there, but his breaststroke is not his strongest stroke, so Owen will be in the mix tonight. It'll be an exciting race, and there'll be a bit of cat and mouse going on there. So Ethan's actually training in Arizona Straight under Bob Bowman. So Bob Bowman is Michael Phelps's, or was Michael Phelps's coach. So a good place to learn your 200 IM trade for Ethan.
Absolutely. Now they're safely through. 4 prelims done and dusted in the men's 200 IM. We will move on to finals this evening, 5 o'clock, BA and junior finals. So, as you've been hearing, in the background, Andrew Bree giving us details of the next one, which is the 200 meters breaststroke. We've got 3 heats for women, and there's your lineup. Orchel in 1, O'Brien in 2, Bingham in 3. Very young field. O'Brien's only 13. Ciara Aiken, 16 from Ards. Then Ellie McCartney. I used to call her McCarthy, and I was corrected by her father. McCartney. She's in 4. Then Beth Nolan in 5. Isabel Kidney in 6. Lily Sheehy in 7, the 17-year-olds. And a 15-year-old Lily Markey is out in lane number 8. Heat 1 of 3. We'll have Niamh Coyne looking for the double a little bit later on. We've no swimmer in 2 or 9. So it's Ellie Bingham who's scratched. So this is heat 1 then of the women's 200 meters breaststroke in the final day of competition here at the NAC.
Right, thank you, Ashley. Here we go. So we have McCartney in this first prelim, that distinctive high head stroke there coming through 25. She's taking this one out. Ciara Aiken bumped into her at the hotel lobby this morning. She's pretty excited. Look at that drive. They're both strokes looking good out front. McCartney associated was with Enniskillen, then Ards, and now trained now the NCU under Kevin Anderson. Here we go. So 35.65 for McCartney. Aiken right behind her on a 36.1, and then rounding out your top 3 at 50 meters. is Julia Warchol from Longford over in lane number 0. But it's anyone's game, 3rd, 4th and 5th. McCartney and Aiken taking this one out. Let's see where they come through. McCartney looking really chilled. Look how long she's underwater. Let me get a stroke rate on this. There's one. All right, 25 stroke rate. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. She's going to have loads of energy coming through in a 1:16 on a 25 stroke rate. Talking about distance per stroke. She's up and at it now. Here we go. Aiken's next on the 18. Then we have Nolan move through on a 20. And then Isabel Kidney from Sundayswell in 4th. But it's McCartney, Aiken and Nolan. Let me see if she's picked up this rate. No, she hasn't. She's still on 25. That is very, very impressive. So that shows me she's going to have loads left for tonight. She turns now, 156.78, way out ahead of the rest of the field. Aiken coming through second, just about 2:01.9. Beth Nolan from Sundayswell on a 2:03.37. McCartney though, energy in the tank. 1, 2, 3. Moved it up a little bit now, stroke rate 28. So if she can pop that up to mid-30s tonight, we're going to see some damaging times on that 2 breast. But every swimmer's different. Every coach is different. Every strategy's different. 5 meters to go. McCartney chilling. Maybe a 2:36, 2:37 morning swim. 2:37.86 for McCartney. Loads left. Looking for a well sub 2:30 tonight. Aiken holding on. What's she going to be? A 40 what? 46.47. Just in front of Nolan on a 46.64. And then we have Nolan's teammate there right beside her, Isabel Kidney. She rounds out the top 4 on a 2:52 with O'Brien on a 2:53. Got more breaststroke swimming coming up next.
That was impressive. That was very impressive. One thing you know, you're a breaststroker yourself, you got to keep it long, keep it smooth. Eddie McCartney seems to have lots in the tank there. He's only 17. Impressive swim, I thought. Yeah,
Brilliant swim, really controlled. I think there's a lot more in the tank. As Andrew was taking rates there, she was below 30 stroke rate for the whole 200. That's really, really efficient swimming. To go 2:37 with the sub 30 stroke rate is really impressive, but I'd look for her to pick that rate up this evening to bring those times down, because she was a 40 point. She's really consistent 40 points the whole way through the 2nd, 3rd and 4th 50, but look for her to increase that rate and bring that time down this evening.
That was very impressive, I thought. Anyway, on to heat 2 of 3. Walker in 1, Burns in 2. Michelle O'Shea in 2, I should say. Burns is in 1. Beth Gardner, Molly Main, Emer Doyle, Rebecca Friel, Lee Connell, and McCormick is in 8.
Okay, second heat now. Lane 4, Molly Main, fastest in. The 17-year-old sub 2:30 on a 2:29.50 is her seated time. Right beside her, a little bit back on the old times though. On a 2:39 we have Doyle, and then we have Gardner on a 2:41. But I tell you what, Emer Doyle had a cracking hundo, and she's now going to pressure Molly Main. We've got 4 lengths of this now with 3 to go. Turning 35s, both on 35s. Gardner on a 36. Usually all pretty close on the first 50, then this next length and a half really separates the skill and the race pace coming through. Molly Main now 75 meters into this 200. I'm liking Doyle though, liking Doyle's stroke. Nice head drive down and still maintaining that nice distance. We'll check in on their stroke rates on the 3rd length to see if they're anywhere close to McCartney's 25. I don't think so though. That just shows the power of her kick. As we come through, 100 meters turning, 113s, 114s, 14.1 and 15.0. Who's fighting for 3rd? 119.6 for Gardner. Rebecca Friel coming through in a 121. Then we move out to 23s and then 25s on the corner lanes. Eve Burns out there in a 125.95. All right, here we go now. Moving through. Main. Let me get that stroke rate before she hits the wall. There's 1. 2. So 32 red, here we go. She should pop it up to maybe mid-30s on this last 50 meters. 152 point. 153.12. She's made a move on Doyle. Doyle's tying up a little bit. 157.65. Beth Gardner training here at the NAC on a 201.58. And then we move 5 seconds back to Friel on a 206. But Molly Main now coming through. Really, really strong. She's had a good few days of racing. 35 stroke rate, picked it up and cruising home. So she's entered on a 229. She's going to be off that a little bit. I'm thinking about maybe a 32, 33 for the morning swim. 232.88 for Molly. She hits the wall first by a good bit. Doyle had a really impressive first part of the race, still held on. 241.45. Let's be around her best. Gardner on a 45. Gardner on a 45, and then who's that there? That's Friel coming through on a 51. O'Shea 54. Connell 55. Then out to 57s. And McCormick finishing off this race on a 3:03. That's your full race complete. One more 200 breaststroke for the women to go.
Big contrast there, Nick, compared to the previous race. Eddie McCartney, much more control, long kind of pull, where you've got Molly Main. They breathe them well, breaststrokers in Temple Oak, don't they? 17-year-old, much higher stroke rate.
Yeah, definitely. Molly was controlled on that first 100, but you really saw that third 50. She had that pickup. She moved to another gear and really pulled away from the rest of the field on that. She's such a lovely technical breaststroker. She really surges into that streamlined position, holds that glide, but not for too long, and then breaks. And it's just so consistent with her splits. 39.5, 39.0, 39.7. You can't ask for a better split 200 breaststroke than that.
We got the favourite for this event in this heat 3 of 3. Dunn, McMaster, Jones, McAvoy. Neve Coyne looking for the double. Cook, McCormick, Walker, Ryan and Bailey.
We have the final prelim in the water now. So Main has set the tempo. McCarthy's in the mix. Neve Coyne swam a cracking 100, back to around her best on a 107. Great to see. Great to see her still racing and competing, and the passion will always be there. So who else is in the mix? Cook beside her. She had a really good 50. Lara McAvoy in lane number 3. No doubt about it though, taking it out pretty slick on a 33.81. McAvoy 35.8. And then Cook coming through on a 36.1. So it's Coyne out front in lane number 3, looking really, really good. 33 stroke rate. 33 stroke rate. She should pop that up to the high 30s as we approach 150 meters. But this is the halfway mark coming up. So the rest of them are out in 113. She's going to be turning probably in about an 11, maybe a 10. No, 111.19 for Coyne. Who's up next? Cook in the mix, 16.3. 1 second clear of McAvoy, the Aer Lingus swimmer. And then we pop up to 120s, 123s, 124s as the rest of the field hit their second 100. Megan Jones looking pretty strong though. She's picked up her rate coming through this third part of the race, but no doubt about it, folks. Look out out front, lane number 4. It's going to be a nice final tonight. So we're going to have Coyne, Main, and McCartney. 149.36. Okay, so she's popped her rate up by about 5. She went from 33s stroke rate to 38 now as we approach 25 to go for Coyne. Looking really, really good. 2:10 on the big clock. Nice acceleration though from Cook. Just like her brother, she knows exactly how to switch tempos like that. We talked to Oisin last night. And myself and Nicholas Quinn doing a great job up there on the live stream in between the races. We were discussing how he needs to build that tempo Don't go from 0 to hero. But 2:28, nice morning swim, 52 wins it. 2:40, a stack of time behind, but nice morning swim as well for Cook, 44 for McAvoy. But that 2:28, I like the look of that 2:28 all the way, Neve, good job. Fourth is a 47.9 for Jones. As the rest of the breaststrokers finish now just around 3 minutes and above. Good job, breaststrokers. We're moving now on to the men's 50 freestyle, I believe. So look forward to that women's 200 breaststroke final tonight. Good job.
Yeah, it's not wrong. Coyne, Main and McCartney, they're your medal contenders, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think Neve was quite aggressive from the start on that, 33 and a 37 on the first and second 50s. So she was really working hard down that first 100. I was watching her technique and she's got such a lovely wide catch position, and then her hands are so fast over the top of the water that she's driving into that streamline position. So really strong morning swim from Neve. That's 0.4 off the consideration standard for the European Championships. She also got the consideration standard in the 100 earlier on in the week, but
she should do that this evening, I think.
Yeah, she'll have her eyes on that, and I think her entry time of 2:25, she'll be looking to be in and around that time this evening. So a really strong heat swim that was set her up really well for the final. And as you said, it's between those Molly, Neve and Ellie for the medals you have to think tonight.
So it's A final, B final, junior final later on this evening, and we're moving on to the other end of the pool now, the 50 meters freestyle for men, and it's a busy one, this one. We've got 5 heats in this. Callum Bain goes in lane number 4 in the final heat. Watch out for him. Max McCusker, looking for his 4th title of the week, goes in heat 4, lane 4. So we're obviously testing things down the other side of the pool, so we get a chance to talk about what we've seen so far in the week as well. Have you been impressed with the standard you've seen so far? We did mention that some of the lesser lights are not here.
Yeah, it's been a really impressive meet. I think not having the guys who are pre-qualified for Worlds and injuries and different things here makes a difference, but I think everyone else has really stepped up, and I've really been impressed with some of the junior swimmers. They're really coming through the ranks, and it's really exciting times for Irish swimming as getting these juniors into the senior level. That's the hard part, is making that transition, so it should be an exciting few years for Irish swimming.
So here we go then. This is heat 1 of 5. Ryan McGinley, Dara Morgan and Alfie Shaw in 5.
Okay, here we go. We got event 32 in the water right now. It's the dash. It's the super dash and splash for the men. Our senior record, Barry Murphy, 22.1, all the way back from 2009. 15 meters to go now for the Lisburn man, Alfie Shaw. What a great name. 5 meters to go. He's going to be at 26. 25.42 for Alfie, nice job. 26.68 for McGinley and Dara Morgan for that 3rd spot. Sorry, let me get that right. He was second, Morgan was second, 26.31, and then McGinley on a 26.68. We got 5 heats of this 50 free. It's going to get serious as we get towards heat 4 and 5. So look out for some serious speed and white water coming out the back.
Yeah, they call it the splash and dash, don't they? Sometimes you think there's not a lot of technique in a 50 free. Get the head down and try and hit the wall as quick as you can.
I think so, but I think when you get to that senior kind of level at 50 freestyle, it's actually such a technical race. They break that down into that first 15 meters off the dive, carrying the momentum, that middle section of the race, and then that last 15. So these 50 free specialists like Callum, that's his main event. He spends so much time just looking at those really small details, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of these senior guys going no breath for that 50, so working on that hypoxic, filling up their lungs with water, staying high in the water and getting that quick turnover with their arms.
Try it yourself, folks. It's tough. Right, Michael Keogh in 1, it's Bremer in 2, Switzer in 3, Wright in 4 in this heat 2, Noonan, Smith, Cassidy and David Powell, 16-year-olds. A lot of these junior swimmers in this heat 2.
Heat 2 underway, last up there, lane number 4, Finlay, right from Banbridge. Nice start, look at the tempo, folks, coming through, 25 meters, 10 points. Yes, yes, yes. Who else is there? We got Noonan in the middle in 5. And then in 6, looking pretty good, Gene Smith from Bangor. He's had a good week so far. Let's see who's going to close it out. It's going to be the Banbridge man, hits the wall, 25 what? 25.38 wins it. Second outside here, Portmarnock, didn't even see him, David Powell, 25.4. And then Gene Smith from Bangor on a 25.4 as well. All very close, folks. Look at that, all the way 1 to 7, 25 points. 0.6 of a second between them, but that is 50 freestyle. It's going to get closer as we get closer to the top.
Well, if you're watching closely there, our winner just took the one breath going down that 50.
Yeah, so that's... I'd be surprised now as we move into these senior finals if you see the guys taking any more than one breath. One breath is kind of the max. A lot of these guys, they might take it at 30 meters and then get the head down and get the finish. As we saw with that race, it's so tight. It's all about getting your hand to the wall, so anything that takes away from that and disrupts your finish is a negative. So watch these guys get their head.
You could lose a 50 free with one turn of an arm, can't you?
Yeah, if you take an extra cycle, then that's it. You go from first to sixth very quickly if you don't nail that finish.
It's on the next heat now, 3 of 5. There's your start list. O'Sullivan, Geddes, Morgan, Registy, Fannin, Bailey, Winston, Dunyan, Riddle and Foley. And as these heats progress, we get faster and faster. So this is 3 of 5 in the men's 50 free.
All right, here we go. Heat 3, Tom Fannin and Bailey in the middle. Oh, I love a bit of straight arm. Look at him go. He is hauling straight through. 9.6. 9.6 for Tom Fannin. Training here at NCD. He's coming through. Looking really, really good. What's he entered in? He's entered in 22.9. He went 22.7. Nice one. 22.7 for a morning swim. Takes it. Bailey second on a 23.67. And then we have Sam Winston. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see the tempo? Did you see the straight arm? That's what it's all about. Nice heat, gentlemen. 2 more coming up. 1 more coming up. 2 more.
He's actually right, it's 2 more. But anyhow, that's real contrast in style you saw between Wright in the previous race and Tom Fannin there. As he said, straight arming his way down that 50.
Yeah, that's it. Once you get into those fast, these seeded heats, you see those guys going straight arm, that windmill type stroke that really, really needs a lot of power to connect with the water underwater with those straight arm. And no breaths from Tom there. I think he'll look back at that video. I think he had a little bit of a glide on the finish, so he might look to correct that this evening and hope to go a bit faster than that. You've
got to time it, don't you, to the wall. It's especially in a 50, as I said, one rotation of the arm can lose it. If you cruise in, you can lose it as well.
Yeah, you want just literally on that full stroke, hit that wall, get that touch, because you'll move down the rankings very quickly if you don't nail that finish in a 50. There's nothing between these top guys.
Don't think Darrell Lynch is out in lane 8 looking across the pool. And that's your lineup then for heat 4 of 5 in the men's 50 free.
All right, here we go, heating up nicely now. We got Thompson there, McCusker and Paul in the middle. But it is Max McCusker, another straight armor. Davy Thompson almost through. 9 highs again. No breathing for these guys. Absolutely no breath for these guys. McCusker just in front, but Thompson's coming back. Thompson's moving on the last 5. Let's see what they're going to go. 22. Nice swim, gentlemen. 22.91. McCusker, the only man under 23. Thompson just over. He was catching, though, 23.39. And then Robbie Powell on a 23.99.
Looking for title number 4 this week, Max McCusker, who did swim for Britain at one stage, declared for Ireland, swimming out in the US at the moment. Again, another one of those, as Andrew described it, a straight arm swimmer.
Yeah, really powerful stroke there from Max. You can see his time from the States are paying off. He's got such strong underwaters. Sometimes you don't see those 50 freestylers using all of that 15 meters, but Max really utilising his underwater strength from the States there, and a really strong 50 freestyle. He took 1 breath with about 7 meters to go, so maybe this evening he might look at that and try and see if he can do the full 50, no breath.
Our favourite here for the title is Callum Bain. He goes in 4 in this final heat of 5. Winston is out in lane 0. McAlevey, Walsh, Hussey, Moore, Bain, Sutton, Colvin, Leggett, Mulholland, Short. So all 10 lanes being used, and this is the final heat of the men's 50 free.
All right, this is the fastest prelim of the morning. Look out for Callum Bain. He smashed it in the 100 meters, but his best is 50. He's moving up now. Bain coming through. He's coming through 9 mids. Bit of straight arm beside him, Darren Sutton. But it's Bain all the way through. No one's catching him. He's half a body length up. In a 50 freeze, impressive. Ben hits the wall, 22 what? 22.7. He's fastest in for tonight's final. We have a 22.7, a 22.74. Sutton came through there in a 23.18. And then rounding out your top three, Thomas Leggett. Nice drop for Leggett, 23.55 for him. And Moore right behind him, 23.7. That is going to be a fire final tonight. Look forward to that one.
Yeah, that contrast huge between himself and, say, McCusker, in that he's getting his hand in the water and grabbing it, whereas the straight arm swimmer alongside him, just a different technique altogether.
Yeah, there really is that different techniques in that 50 freestyle. Some of them go straight arm and get that really high turnover, whereas Callum there was really just, you can see he's powerful, he holds on to so much water and he's so explosive off the blocks. I actually thought the middle section of his race was probably the best. He got into that rate really quickly and really established it. That last 15 metres maybe started to spin us slightly, so maybe look at that this evening. It should be a really fascinating race this evening between Callum, Max and Tom. It really is a splash and dash at that stage.
Sure, they say if you spin you start to lose pace, don't you? You lose form of momentum in the water. It happens a lot at breaststroke.
Yeah, especially 50 freestyle, 22 seconds. If you slip one stroke, it's very, very almost impossible to get that connection back with the water. So you have to maintain connected the whole way through and nail all of those little elements. So it really is short race, but a really technical one.
Penultimate event of this, the final day of competition here at the NAC, is the 50 backstroke. Irish record holder Daniel Hill goes in lane 4 in heat 6. Heat 1. One length of the pool. We just got the 4 swimmers in this.
We have now transitioned into event 33, the women's 50-meter backstroke. Fingala and Buckland, Verdernikova and Beam in this first opening 50 back. No one in lane number 4. That's all right. Hennessy missing, but that's okay. 37s across the board now for these swimmers. Let's see if we can get a little bit of magic under that 37. Very, very close. Lane number 6, that's Beam. And then I think that's is that over 3? I think that's 3. East Cavan, Buckland Morris coming through. It's anyone's game. 2 strokes to go. Just over that 37, 37.1 for Verdernikova. And then Buckland Morris coming through, 37.5, and then 37.6, very close top 3. Heat 2 walking down the pool now.
Verdernikova wins that opening heat in 37.14. These are junior swimmers.
Yeah, these are junior swimmers, so they will be looking to get back for those junior finals or a B final later on this evening. And it's just about the experience of being in this environment for these junior swimmers, especially after COVID, when they've maybe not raced long course in so while. It's just so invaluable to be around the likes of Danielle Hill, seeing her in the call room, fresh off her Tokyo Olympic experience and her ISL experience. It's just great for these younger athletes to get that exposure at such a young age.
Again, stacked full of juniors in this race. Heat 2 of 6. O'Donoghue, McFadden, Lee, Sulatina, O'Connor, Bollard, Vaughan, Hamill, Nemrisikova, and then Glenochy out in lane number 9. So all 10 lanes being used. Just looking down the pool, see they're all there. Seem to be. Heat 2 of the women's 50 metres backstroke. Daniel Hill, looking for title number 6, goes in heat 6 a little later on. Just the one length of the pool. Again, rather like the men's 50 free. It's about getting to the wall as fast as you possibly can. Just the one length of the pool then for heat 2 of the women's 50 metres backstroke.
Okay, next heat now in the water. We're stacked up here all the way from 0 to 9. Fastest in, Aisling O'Connor on a 35.3, but they're all 35s out until the outside lanes are 36s. This is going to be anyone's race, but look at lane number 6 there. That's the Kilkenny swimmer, Vaughan, coming through, being pushed by her teammate. Don't disregard lucky lane 8. That her name is almost impossible to pronounce. Cool mind, Nina Manaruski. Let's see what she's going to hit. I think she's going to win it. She does. So Teresa wins it, cool mind, 34.14. I'm going to go by her first name. Vaughan second, 34.6. And then Molly Bollard, also from Kilkenny, on a 35.1. 4 more heats to go.
Nimareska wins it. Out in lane 8. Outside smoker, they called them. But that's good. Another one of those juniors. Only 13.
Yeah, very young, and that's a 2-second improvement on her entry time. So anytime you're swimming 2 seconds faster than your entry time from a lane 8, you're doing okay. So brilliant swim from her. In these unseeded heats, you can get those outside smokers because they're so close on entry time. There's nothing between them, so it makes actually these early heats really exciting from that point of view.
When you get to finals and you see outside smokers winnings, that's the fun bit.
That is the fun bit. I still remember that 400 freestyle from the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah.
Lane 8 taking it on day 1. It was a real surprise, and when you see that, it gets the whole arena and the atmosphere.
Was it Malui, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
Malui,
yeah.
So
yeah, it's if you watch it outside smoker, he won that from lane 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Malui, the Tunisian, and he went out, took it hard out, and stayed out. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the pool here. This is heat 3 of 6, women's 50 backstroke. Sophie Nolan in lane 4 is the fastest qualifier into this heat. 33.57, the 17-year-old from Terenure. Once again, all 10 lanes being used in this, the third heat.
Okay, here we go. Heat 3. Fastest in, Sophie Nolan, 33s. We're going to be getting into the 33 action here as we approach the final few prelim swims. All the backstrokers in a nice line coming through. It's anyone's game. Who's just in front? That could be lane number 6. Siona Begon. She's looking pretty good in this blue cap, but it's anyone's game. About 8 meters to go. Lane number 7, that is. Sorry, that's Ava Rock's going to hold on from Tala. Does she do it? She does. Oh, close finish, 33-32. Brogan O'Hara from Leander coming in second, 33-7. And then rounding out your top 3 with a 33-78. That is Sarah Gunning from Bluefin.
We do know that some of the bigger names are not here, and some of the bigger clubs will obviously dominate along with the national centres as well. So it's good to see the likes of, say, Sligo, Kilkenny et al. Coming through now in terms of their junior swimmers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think especially those smaller clubs have had a really tough time over the last 2 years, or the last few years with COVID. So just getting those swimmers at these first Irish Open Championships in 3 years and getting them to win races like that in the heats is a really great experience for these young athletes. So, and it's great to see. It's great when we have athletes from a range of clubs winning medals and swimming well. Sure.
Ava Rock then takes to the previous heat then. The 14-year-old from Tallaght brings us on to 4 of 6. Lottie Cullen, fastest entry time here, 29.78. That's the first one we've seen sub 30. Will she do it in the heats this morning? The 18-year-old, we shall see.
Okay, now we're moving round closer to the 32nd world in this backstroke. Nice breakout from Lottie Cullen, swim Belfast. She had a nice 100. She's going to be coming through well up. Look at the distance she's already made. 13 lows at the halfway mark. Don't think anyone's going to catch her. She's tying up slightly now as lanes 5 and 6 come through. That is Farrell and Poutney. Poutney's had a great meet as well. Good to see her drop some time. But it is all the way from the start. It's going to be Cullen. Will Poutney get in next? She does. So it's Cullen 30.14. Poutney on a 30.82. Nice drop there. And then Farrell from Sligo on a 30.89. All right, backstrokers, we have two more races to go.
Nice style from Lottie Cullen. Head very still in the water. Nice turnover rate. Good finish too.
Yeah, it was a really strong swim. I think when you move into these faster heats, you really see them utilising that underwaters off the start as well. And she popped up right at 15, carried that momentum through, as you said, really still head position, and that got that turnover going really early and never started to slip, so just held it right the way to the finish. 30.14, and she'll be looking to go sub 30 tonight.
Should make a final, but there's a B and an A final and a junior final. That should be good enough for a senior final. Lottie Cullen, we shall find out later on. We've got 2 more heats to go then of the women's 50 metres backstroke, and we're getting quicker and quicker as we get towards Danielle Hill, who's up at the next heat. Curry, Rogers, Conroy, Rooney, McDougall, it's Martin, Doran, Roisin Reen, the Paralympian, is in lane number 7, 17-year-old. Trains out of the National Centre in Limerick. Sophia Quigley in 8, and then Cara Maher is in lane number 9 from Terenure. Fairly rattling through the programme this morning. We've got one more heat to come on this, and then we've got the first heat of the men's 1500 metres freestyle on the final day of competition here at the NAC.
We have heat 5 in the water, folks. Event 33. Look at the breakout right there from Jenna McDougall. She's practiced that a few times. Nice pressure from Rooney, though. Also in the mix, Leah Martin from Temple Logue. But it is the UCD swimmer powering through 35 metres. About half a body length up on the rest of the field. No sign of slowing down now. 5 metres to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strokes to the end. 29.81, the only swimmer under 30 seconds. Nice work. Cora Rooney coming through in a 30.66, and then rounding out your top 3, Temple Logue. That was your order all the way through, 25, 26, 27 metres, and it remained that all the way to the end. Good job, backstrokers. One more heat to go.
McCarthy will be happy enough that her coach, Jenna McDougall, the 20-year-old from UCD, wins that heat and will advance to the final. First one we've seen under 30 seconds.
Yeah, much like Lottie in the previous heat, Jenna really utilised her underwaters there. 15 popped up right at the mark, and it's about carrying as much momentum into that breakout so that your first couple of cycles you're connected with the water and carrying that momentum, because in a 50 back crawl, that start is where you have the most momentum, so carrying that through is really good. Jenna got a silver medal in the 50 fly, so her underwaters are clearly a strong point of her, so she'll be looking to utilise them in the final this evening.
Which brings us nicely on to the final heat then, heat 6, and the big favourite here, Danielle Hill, the Olympian, Tokyo Olympian. 5 times she's picked up a national title here and is an undoubted favourite for this, the final race for her in this meet. It's DC in 1, Humphreys in 2, McGrath, Tinsley, Hill, Molly Nolte, Byrne, Farr, Henry and Allen from Terenure. Misha Allen out in lane number 9. This is the final heat then, penultimate event on the final day of the Irish Open Championships here at the NAC. It's the 6th and final heat of the women's 50 metres backstroke.
This is the final heat. We are transitioning over to the guys 1500 after this, folks, so get ready for the last 50 speed. Danielle Hill, even though she's entered in a 24 on this sheet, she ain't going 24, but she's going to be close. Her best, I think she has the Irish senior record. I don't even know where that is. I'll check it later. But Hill all the way through. So 29.81 was the fastest. Hill's going to be a what, 28? Yeah, why not? 28.61 for the morning swim. Tinsley coming through on a 30.5. And then rounding out your top 3 from breaststroke to backstroke. Molly Nolte looking pretty good on that one too on a 31.56. That is your top 3. So we're taking the backstroke starting blocks off. We're taking the lane counters out. Men's 1500 coming up next.
Well, she had an entry time there of 24.29. That would be an Olympic gold medal, I think. 24 for a 50 back. Our Irish record, just to fill it in what Andrew was saying there, is 27.95 set in 2019, Danielle Hill. So a 28 point in the morning swim, 28.61. That's good.
Yeah, it's a good swim. We've actually seen Danielle make a lot of drops at this meet from heats to finals, so I'd expect her to be in and around that, or looking to get close to that anyways this evening. Watching her swim is just such a pleasure. She catches so much water. She's so strong in that on that catch phase that she just it almost looks effortless, but I can assure you it's not effortless, but she makes it look so easy because she's so technically so strong. And
yeah, of course she couldn't win a medal in the Olympics because the backstroke's not in at the 50 back, so it's only the 50 free, isn't it, of course, but there's talk about moving them in now, and it's about time. We've got a lot of those 50s into the Olympics now.
Yeah, no, the 50, look, as we saw just this morning, the 50s are exciting events, so if you get them in the Olympics, I think a lot of people will be tuning in to watch those 50s of the strokes, because they're becoming so competitive even at World Championships and Europeans now that everyone wants to do them. Everyone wants to get in and do those splash and dashes of the 4 strokes, so if they were to add them to the Olympics, I think it'll be a positive thing for swimming in general.
Okay, we're on to the final event of this, the final day of heats at the Irish Open, and it is the men's 1500. It's Tristan Egan in 2, David Coyle, 17-year-olds from Aer Lingus, is in 3, Daniel Harvey of Ards, the 15-year-olds, in 4, Ewan Maguire is in lane number 5, and the swimmer in lane 6 has decided to stay in bed. So it's just the 4 swimmers. We will have the fastest heat a little later on this evening to determine the medals. It's a long race. Long race.
Yeah, for sure. Pacing becomes so important in this race. You go out too early, you go too hard too early, and it's a long way to be in pain.
We've got 30 lengths of the pool.
All right, here we go. Last up the surface, using that extra 2 or 3 dolphin kicks. Lane number 5, Daniel Harvey from Ards. So we got 2 Aer Lingus guys, coached by Alan Turner there on lane 2 and 3, training partners. They'll know exactly what to do in this 1500. Harvey in 4, and then Dara Russ. So we got Big Curtis Coulter on deck, the new head coach of Ards, doing a fantastic job. He's there now taking split stroke rates, getting all that data in so they can review and improve. Coming through now, 30.5, very, very close. Nothing between these guys, about half a second as we coming into 75 meters. And remember, folks, we have 30 lengths of the big pool. This is a grueling event. But once they settle into those stroke rates and try and repeat per 50 splits, it's all just part of the job for these guys. 5 meters to go now. Lane number 4, Daniel Harvey from Ards taking it out. 1:04.81. All coming up at about 5.5, 6 meters. Clearing the flags, that's the most important thing. Harvey still in front. This race is shaping up slightly now as we approach 125. I'll check back in with you in about 50 meters. So there's still a good race forming here. Harvey about still half a second in front of that last wall. .39 stroke rate for Harvey, pretty controlled. If he can maintain that through the 1500, he'll be on for a personal best time. So they're both turning in 2:16s. And then the outside lanes, Rusk and Egan turning in 2:17s. This is what we want to see during a 1500. We don't want to see any of those big gaps, so if all these guys can maintain this and fight all the way through, it's going to be a good old race. We've got loads of time to go, though. We'll check back in halfway down the next length. All right, so just in comparison to stroke rates, Harvey's still around 38, 39, nice and long. And then right beside him, David Coyle from Aer Lingus, he's on about a 41 rate. So slightly different. As they say, different strokes for different folks. So we're turning at 300 at 3:27.46. Coyle on a 3:28.27. Rusk on a 29 and Egan on a 30. So big final tonight is stacked up. The second prelim of this will be swum with the finals tonight. And we have Liam Custer fastest in on that. Just for comparison, he's entered on a 15:48, which is a very nice time. Ben Moran will be there later. Ronan Fahy will be there later. It'll be a good old race later on, but let's concentrate on this one. Nothing between the first two, 0.2 of a second. I'm loving this battle here now as we approach 400 meters at this next wall. All right, Coyle settled into it now. Both guys are at about a 38 rate. Harvey hasn't moved up, but Coyle's dropped. He was 41 part of that last 100. Now he's dropped. And this is looking really nice. Turning now, 439s. Egan and Rusk still in the mix. They're only 4 seconds back. Anything can happen over the next chunk of meters for this 1 mile effort. .21 lengths to go. 5:15.0 to 5:15.51. Nothing there. 19s and 20s for the outside guys. So we got quadruple A's here. Aer Lingus, Ards and Athlone. Keeping it up at the top of the alphabet. So approaching 500 meters now. So as you can check out breathing patterns as well. Coyle's going for every 3. Harvey's going for every 1. That's okay. A lot of the top distance guys, Sun Yang, well, he got in trouble. It's not a good reference. Grant Hackett, all those kind of guys, all those legendary Australian distance swimmers, Kieran Perkins, all breathing every stroke as well. So it just depends on your training and what you're used to. But Harvey getting in that oxygen and just about in front. I'm really looking forward to the last 500 meters of this 15. We'll see who's done the work every day all the way up to this competition. Now approaching about 6:30 on the clock as they hit this wall with 19 lengths to go. Still in front, 26.7, slight lead. Going to push up. Not easy to change gears in a 1500, but we should see a little bit of speed coming through the last 150 meters. Harvey now still 7:02, 600 meters into this race. All right, approaching 700 meters now, folks. 700 meters. Harvey's, yeah, he's about a body length up in front. .700 meters in. 8:14.98. He's extended his lead almost by 2 seconds. See if the Aer Lingus man can hold on. They cannot be getting too far in front. Not good for the body, not good for the mind. Lane number 5, Rusk has now made a little bit of an impact for that 3rd position. He's looking pretty controlled on an 8:26.7 to Tristan's 8:28. All right, welcome to the 800 meter mark. I think, yeah, 700 to go after this. Harvey, Ards, going to be sub 9:30 on it, maybe a 9:26. 9:26.87 for Harvey. Coyle also sub 9:30 on a 9:29.47. Still a little bit of a scrap going on in lanes 2 and 5, but it's Rusk for 3rd, 41, Egan for 4th on a 9:43. So let's just revisit those seated times. Harvey's entered on a 17:50.1. Coyle's entered on a 17:58.8. Rusk on a 18:10, and then Egan on a 18:25. Let me get my stopwatch out, check back in with some of these rates to see if they're maintaining the same. Harvey on a 39, he's moved up 1 rate on the clock. Coyle was about a 38 as well. Let's check back in. He's actually dropped to a 36. That might be the reason he has dropped back. It's all to do with keeping that exact same consistent stroke rate all throughout the race. I'm going to pass you back over to Ashley now. He's going to read out some results. So if you're expecting final swims tonight, listen for your name. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andrew. We have our finalists for the women's 50-metre backstroke. A finalists: Danielle Hill, Larne; Jenna McDougall, UCD; Lottie Cullen, Swim Belfast; Florence Tinsley, Arts; Cora Rooney, Enniskillen and Lakelanders; Neve Pountney, Arts; Danielle Farrell, Sligo; Leah Martin, Temple Globe; Amy Fitzpatrick, UCD; Aoife Doran, Aer Lingus. Our B finalists: Molly Nolte, Swilly Seals; Rebecca Lowe, UCD; Emily Rogers, Trojan; Nisha Allen, Terranure; Alicia DC, Sundays Well; Louisa Humphries, Larne; Ava Rock, Tala; Rosie Whitten, Swim Belfast; Olivia Curry, Sharp; Callie Walsh, Terranure. Our junior finalists: Roisin Ní Breen, National Centre Limerick; Leah Bailey, New Ross; Isla Henry, Lisbon City; Roisin Lawless, Wexford; Shannon Byrne, Bangor; Lauren Farr, National Centre Limerick; Sophia Quigley, Arts; Grace Conroy, Mount Kelly; Cara Marr, Terranure; Izzy McGrath, Dolphin. Our 2 reserves are Brogan O'Hara from Leander and Sarah Gunning, Bluefin. You have 30 minutes to withdraw. Thank you, Andrew.
All right, back to the race here. We have 400 meters to go after this wall. Lane number 4, Harvey. He's cruising through. He's led from the start. Shoulders looking a wee bit tight right now, but he's still holding on nicely. I might just check in with Curtis here as I walk up the pool deck for the last little bit. Harvey turns in a 13:02.92. Really extended that lead on Coyle. Coyle's stroke rates dropped down to about mid-30s. Harvey's still up around 39, just under 40. Let's see what he's got left as we're bringing it home. The other 2 guys, a nice race. Egan's now made a bit of a move. So Rusk has dropped back a little bit. These guys must be hurting somehow, but it's Egan. He's going to turn first out of these guys on a 13:29.3 of a second up on Rusk. He's made a move. That final turn there for Harvey, not final turn, last turn, 13:39.2. Coyle on a 13:45.6. No one's catching the yards man. Checking over, looking at Curtis there, he's waving him on. You always wonder, can the swimmers see anything? Usually not. 50 meters to go now. Harvey on this wall. What have we got, 300? 6 lengths of the big pool. 6 more lengths. Harvey spins around. Let's see. Is he going to pick it up? Yeah, still very consistent. That's what it's all about. 39 stroke rate, right on the button. Very, very consistent. .37. He's picked it up a little bit too. David Coyle's stroke rate's now 37. Rusk has dropped back to 4th. He looks like he's hurting. Egan's moving through. 300 meters to go for those guys. 14:43 to 14:45. He's extended his lead by exactly 2 seconds, just under 0.99 of a second. Harvey coming through in a 51 up at the far end. 55, 56, 59. Look at that distance. 14:59.01 for Coyle. All right, we have 200 meters left in this 1,500 meter swim final race of this morning. Then we're back for the final session here at the National Aquatic Centre, Blanchardstown, Dublin. Lane number 4, 15:27.08. I'm going to stroll up towards Big Curtis Coulter here. Let's see if he's on pace for a personal best time. I won't put him under pressure and make him speak through the microphone, but I will ask him. The answer was, yeah, he's going to PB. Good. So any ARDS swimmers left in the crowd, or anyone that likes ARDS, you can always add a wee bit of support. It's always good to usher in a little bit of support for these swimmers, especially when there's only 4 of them in the pool. Harvey coming through now, just over that 16-minute world. He's going to turn in a 16:03 on the dot. 0:00:00. Who's up next? Coyle's up next because he's been there the whole time. Harvey's picking up his rate, I think. Yeah, he sure is. He's gone from 38s, 39s all the way through up to 41 on that tempo. If you don't have a tempo trainer, by Finnis, I would highly recommend one. Coyle coming through now. Well, what kind of distance is he? Maybe 10, 12 meters back? About 12 meters back. There's the bell. Barry ringing that bell. Good man all the way home now. Let's see if he can even pick that rate up into the mid-40s. Does he have the energy? .42 rate now. He's creeping up on that mid-40 rate. I like it. Coyle also picking it up. A little bit more action on the legs. Arms, kick for him. And then we have a nice swim, 100 meters to go for Egan. He's finishing off his campaign. He made a good move there in the last 500, and it's obviously worked out. So Daniel Harvey from ARDS, what a swim. His best is a 17:50. As Curtis just said to me, it's going to be a small PB, but a PB is a PB. 10 meters to go. 10 meters to go. Sorry, 15 to go back there. 1. Moving up to 46 rate. Harvey closes it out. Put your hands together. 17:47.77. Stacking up the 7s right there. That's a good 3-4 second PB for the youngster from ARDS. So much to go. The shoulders will be tight later on today, but well worth every effort. David Coyle as well under that 18 minutes, 17:59.23 as our last 2 distance freestylers close out this 1500. Egan's going to come through. He's 6 meters from the wall. Russ coming through at about 16 meters, 10 meters difference for those 2 guys. Hits the wall. Erlingus 18:22.56. And then as our last swimmer finishes, good effort, gentlemen. We'll see you all later on. Nice job, 18:33.5. That's us wrapping up this morning's original swimming, and we may have 1 or 2 time trials if you want to hang out. Things are about to get really fast and serious.
Well, that's 17 minutes, 47 seconds of hell in the men's 1500 metres freestyle. Well done, Daniel Harvey from ARDS. He'll be happy enough with that. We will have the heat declared winner because we will have the final heat in the final session this evening. What's impressed you about this morning, Nicholas?
That men's 50 freestyle really stands out from this morning's swimming. I think you're going to have a great race this evening. Callum Baines, fastest qualifier in 22.7, and Tom Fannin just behind him in 22.74. And then Max McCusker, already seen he's in fine form this week, breaking Irish senior record in the 50 fly. He's going to be right in there in the mix. I think that should be a cracking final. And then the women's 200 breaststroke, Niamh Coyne and Molly Main have been battling for the medal positions. Niamh will be looking to double up or to triple up with her 50 and 100 win. I think that should be an exciting one as well.
All right, that's us done and dusted then from the National Aquatic Centre on the final day of competition. The final set of heats have been concluded. We've got the final of the women's 200 metres freestyle, men's 200 IM, the 200 breaststroke, the 50 free, for men and the 50 back for women, and we wrap it all up with the final heat of the men's 1500 meters freestyle. We've got, outside of the 1500, we do have BA and junior finals. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. I'm John Kenny, along with Nicholas Quinn and Andrew Bree. We're back this evening at around 10 minutes to 5 at the NAC.